The prison program you're about to view consists of strong subject matter such as rape, gang fights, stabbings, police corruption, and extortion. Due to the nature and language of the program, viewer discretion is advised.
Prison X is back with new and more shocking episodes. The stories that are retold are 100% real-life experiences from ex-cons that made it out of prison alive. These untold stories of slashings, rapes, assaults, extortion, and gang violence cover penitentiaries as far north as upstate New York, to the Midwest states of Indiana, Texas, and Detroit, southern states like Georgia, Alabama, Memphis, and Florida, to as far west as California. These are the stories that have taken place in jails all across America. Welcome to Prison X.
I've never witnessed it personally. I've heard about it. I've definitely heard about it. I've definitely had inmates make allegations that they were raped by other inmates in jail, and so to say it doesn't happen or it can't happen, can't say that. It happens. I've seen tons of inmate fights, fights in the yard, fights in the mess hall, individual fights in the housing area, stabbings, slashings, assaults with telephones. My name is Callie, and I am a retired New York City Department of Correction captain. I worked for New York City Department of Correction for 21 years. My entire career was on Rikers Island. I started in 1991 in GMDC, George Motion Detention Center, commonly known as C73. I worked there as a correction officer for approximately 10 years until I was promoted to captain. It's going to happen. First of all, you're dealing with people. So everyone is not the same. Everyone comes with their own background, their own personalities, their own experiences, and they bring that with them. Personally, I've had, good days there, and I've had some horrible days there as well. Okay, a good day is going in, taking care of your business, and leaving the same way you came in. A good day is a day where you're not assaulted. A good day is a day when you're not verbally harassed. A good day is a day when you can just go in, enforce the rules and regulations of the department, and go home to your family. A bad day would be a day where it's just stress out of control. It's very stressful. It's not only stressful for the inmates who have to be there, it can sometimes be stressful for the staff that are working there as well. It's not always a pleasant place to be. Okay. As a correction officer captain, as a captain, you're not always on the scene. You're not, in a housing area all during the day. As an officer, a lot of times you don't get to witness when these things initially jump off, because of course the inmate is not going to stand right in front of the officer and say, okay, I'm about to stab him now, so sometimes you're responding to the scene, or you're alerted to the scene after the fact. A lot of times these things don't happen in the direct presence of staff. You have a unit protective custody where, if someone feels that they're unsafe, first of all, there's a whole classification process. So you're not going to have someone who is accused of stealing a loaf of bread housed with someone who has had numerous convictions for violent offenses. So I think the classification process kind of helps with that, so that hopefully you won't have someone who is timid. Maybe it's their first time coming in with someone who's been kind of been through the ropes. I don't think they're a different person. Because I don't think that.
Like what I mean is, I guess.
No, I don't think time is going to make you, like, if you like men, you like men. If you don't, you don't. I don't know that time is going to just make you all of a sudden like men. Bing. Yeah. Okay. So in the Bing, you have inmates who were found guilty of infractions of rules and regulations of the department. So those inmates, after going through their disciplinary hearings, were found guilty, and based on whatever offense they committed, they're so based on whatever offense they, based on how much time they received at their disciplinary hearing, they'll go to the Bing for that particular amount of time. Once they're in the Bing, they're locked in for approximately 23 hours a day. They come out to go to recreation, they come out to go to law library, they come out to go to the shower, but pretty much their day consists of being locked in the cell. I don't think it's one particular thing. I think that, when you have people together, in an environment like that, it's a powder keg. Well, weapons are made out of anything. Weapons can be made out of a toothbrush. Any hard plastic, metal, anything that can be sharpened to a point can be made into a weapon. I've seen weapons made out of ink pens, the hard plastic part of a pen, eyeglasses, the metal, the metal from your eyeglasses. Anything can be made into a weapon. The metal insert from your sneakers. There's so many things that can be sharpened and fashioned into a weapon. A lot of the drugs are brought in through the visit area. Anytime you're introducing elements from the outside into a secure facility, you have the possibility that contraband is going to be introduced, whether that's weapons, razors, drugs, tobacco. Anytime, anything from the outside is coming in, that possibility exists. Sometimes it's swallowed, sometimes it's boofed.
For those that don't know what boof is, what does boof mean?
That's when the contraband is concealed in the rectum.
Oh, okay. So,
well, you know what? I handled it the same way I would handle someone talking to me in the street. So if I'm not interested in the street, I'm not interested in jail, definitely not interested in jail, because I'm in there for, I'm there to work. That's my job, that's my profession. There is absolutely no way that I could have a relationship or, anything other than professional with an inmate. I'm there for my reason, and they're there for their reason.
So what's your thoughts on these correctional officers that actually have, relationships with
I think it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Just like you would think a school teacher.
But why would you think it's disgusting?
Because you're not there for that purpose. So I would look at it the same way. I look at it the same way you look at a school teacher that has an intimate relationship with a student. I believe he was a mental observation inmate. He had history where he did receive, medication for his mental illness. The nature of the illness is never disclosed to staff. All medical information is confidential and kept private. However, just based on the fact that he did frequently visit the clinic to receive medication, just prompted me to know that he did suffer from some sort of mental health disorder. This particular inmate was trying to make some telephone calls home, and he wasn't successful in reaching whoever he was trying to reach at home. So he became increasingly agitated because he wasn't able to handle whatever he was trying to handle. He wanted to go down to social services so that he could possibly have them assist him in, getting the help that he needed. But he couldn't go because the count wasn't clear. So the thing is, if the count is not clear, there is no movement until the count is clear. So, the inmate kept coming up to me asking me if the count was clear, and, I advised him that it wasn't. I had already contacted social service and made the arrangements for him to go down as soon as the count was clear. However, he just had to wait. He came up to me a few times and asked me, and I let him know that, the count wasn't clear. and he just exploded to the point where, he got really agitated. I tried to calm him down, and he punched me right in my face. No, it was not one punch. It was a continuous assault where we were engaged in him assaulting me and me trying to defend myself from him.
So when at that point, then I guess reinforcements come.
Oh, after about 5 minutes or so, because it's not, a lot of people think that as soon as you, hit your alarm or alert the control station that you have a problem, that, people are just on standby waiting outside. It doesn't happen that way. So, you're defending yourself for approximately 3 to 5 minutes until help arrives. Well, at that point, you're forced to defend yourself. I tried to push him back. I also tried to employ a control hold to get him to stop. What happens also is, the staff that are inside the control station gets alerted, and assistance comes. This is Callie. You've just watched Prison X, and that's my story.